So, up until now, we saw Megumi drop his domain expansion on Reggie, the Chimera Shadow Garden. To dodge the domain's guaranteed hit effect, Reggie immediately pops a technique called Hollow Wicker Basket. This is basically the old-school version of a simple domain that cancels out a domain's auto-hit. In theory, the domain shouldn't touch him, but then, Reggie realizes Megumi's frogs have already snatched his legs, and Megumi starts laying into him. Reggie is losing it, he doesn't get why this is happening. See, normally, a simple domain or hollow basket targets the domain's barrier to neutralize the auto-hit. But Megumi's domain is incomplete. It has no barrier and no guaranteed hit effect. By activating his domain, Megumi just gave his 10 Shadows technique a massive buff. He's now operating at 120% potential. He can teleport anywhere through shadows and summon as many Shikigami as he wants. Reggie catches on quick, but Megumi is already beating the brakes off him. Reggie thinks to himself, this kid's power is through the roof. I would have preferred a guaranteed hit domain over this. If he drops that elephant on me, it's game over. But hey, I wasn't born yesterday. Megumi summons 3 new, but Reggie drops 3 cars right on top of them, and those cars start sinking into Megumi's shadow. Reggie shouts, I knew this shadow beneath my feet wasn't normal. I'm using cursed energy just to keep from sinking. In this domain, Megumi can store anything in his shadow. But one thing was bugging Reggie. Why hasn't Megumi stored a ton of weapons? He'd only pulled out 1 cursed tool. That's when it clicked, Megumi has to physically bear the weight of whatever he stores. So, Reggie dropped those 3 cars, nearly 5,300 pounds of weight, right on a Megumi. Megumi is literally buckling under the pressure and drops to the ground. Reggie taunts him, saying he'll keep dropping junk from his receipts until Megumi is flattened. Megumi claps back. You're forgetting something. An incomplete domain is still a domain. He can summon shadows from above, too. Megumi drops Max Elephant directly onto Reggie, pinning him down. Megumi says, let's see who gets crushed first. They say a normal person blacks out at 6 gs of force, roughly 2.4 tons. Even if Megumi weighs 130 pounds, his body was taking a 40 g load. Meanwhile, a real elephant weighs between 3 to 6 tons. Thanks to the domain, Megumi's elephant is just as heavy as the real deal, and the impact snaps Reggie's leg. Both are enduring insane weight. It's a total game of chicken to see who folds first. Reggie thinks, I messed up. If I'd kept that truck receipt, I could have crushed him for sure. Megumi had already ruined some of his receipts with water, but Reggie still had an ace up his sleeve. He thinks about hiding in the shadow to pull his trump card, but then he wonders why Megumi isn't closing the domain. It hits him, anything inside the shadow stays there even after the domain ends. If Reggie goes in, he's trapped forever, and who knows if there's even air in there. It looks like water, but diving in is way too risky. Reggie decides to play his ace right there. He lifts the elephant with one hand and pulls a receipt with the other, but before he can activate it, the weight becomes too much and he plummets into the shadow. Reggie is just falling into pure darkness, unable to breathe, and starts losing consciousness. Megumi is also at his limit. He just needs to confirm Reggie is dead before he can drop the domain and dump all that junk out of his shadow. Suddenly, a car pops out of the shadow, and it brought Reggie with it. Reggie explains that usually, the things he creates vanish after their command is finished, but he never gave those 3 cars a command, he just used them as deadweight. That meant he could still give one in order. He told the car to bring me to the surface, which took the weight off Megumi but brought Reggie back alive. Reggie tells Megumi, you're strong, but I'm on another level. He pulls out his final ace, a receipt for a 2-story house. A 33-ton house starts falling into Megumi's domain. At that weight, Megumi would be pancake mix. But Megumi dives into his shadow and releases the domain at the last second. The house crashes through the gym floor, and they both fall into the swimming pool on the floor below. Megumi grabs Reggie from behind, and since the weight of those 2 cars is still on Megumi, Reggie is being dragged down with him. Reggie cancels the cars, and they both surface. Megumi tells him, all your receipts are soaked. They're useless now. Reggie fires back, so what? You're totally toasted too, man. You can't even summon your Shikigami. The only thing I'm worried about is that divine dog. The rest of your pets can't touch me. They start going toe-to-toe in a fistfight. Mid-fight, Megumi summons divine dog, Totality, which rips into Reggie's shoulder. Reggie loses the fight. Megumi says, divine dog isn't so weak that I couldn't bring him back. Reggie smiles and says, sorcerers live on lies, don't they? Reggie realized Megumi didn't just run into this gym by accident, it was a calculated setup. He didn't think he'd lose to a new gen sorcerer. Megumi admits, even if I wanted to run, Nu couldn't have carried me that far. Megumi asks, what's your connection to Tengen? Reggie doesn't know much, but he mentions that Kenjaku's plan is actually something else entirely. Maybe Tengen and Kenjaku are cooking something up together, but the odds are low. Before dying, Reggie calls his Kogen and transfers all his points to Megumi, 41 points in total. Megumi asks why, and Reggie says, I wanted to do something good before I kicked the bucket. Plus, Kenjaku isn't exactly my best friend. I think giving you these points is gonna make this game way more interesting. You killed me, so let's see what kind of hand fate deals you next. A moment later, Reggie passes away. Since Megumi eliminated him, he gets another 5 points. Meanwhile, we see Takaba chilling and drinking tea. Suddenly, a massive explosion hits his building, courtesy of Hazunoki. Hazunoki wonders if he finally got him, but Takaba walks out of the debris on another building saying, nice try, chump, but don't give up yet. Hazunoki is losing his mind because he's been trying to kill this guy forever. But Takaba doesn't have a single scratch. In fact, his old injuries are gone. Their Kogen shows up and announces that Reggie has been eliminated. Hearing this, Hazunoki calls it quits, saying he's not in the mood to fight anymore and is going home. Takaba yells, alright, buddy, don't forget to brush your teeth before bed. Then, remembering Megumi's plan, he asks for Hazunoki's points, but Hazunoki just says, no way. Guys, Takaba's technique is called comedian. Basically, whatever Takaba thinks is funny becomes reality. If he thinks it would be hilarious if Gojo was bald, Gojo would be bald. That's his power. With this technique, Takaba could actually give Gojo a run for his money. The only catch? Takaba has no idea he even has this power. Elsewhere, we see Remy running. She was always told that men are wolves, but ironically, men are the only ones who ever helped her. Since these wolves do all the work, Remy doesn't really stress her brain. But then, Megumi and his divine dog corner her. He was ready to enter, but then he hears his sister Sumiki's voice in his head, telling him not to. Megumi spares Remy and starts to walk away, but collapses shortly after. That's when we see Angel, Hanakurusu, hovering over him. Yes, guys, this is the sorcerer who can actually free Gojo from the prison realm. Finally, the story shifts to the Sendai colony. This place has been a total bloodbath compared to the others. There were 4 powerhouse players holding down the fort. Asterisk Dhruv Lakdawala, 91 points, a reincarnated warrior from the Civil War era. He uses 2 giant Shikigami as a domain. Asterisk Ryu Ishigori, 77 points, the guy with the highest cursed energy output of any player in the culling game. Asterisk Takako Yuro, 70 points, former captain of the Sun, Moon, and Star Squad. She can literally manipulate the sky. Asterisk Kurorushi, 54 points, a special grade cockroach curse spirit released by Kenjaku, currently hibernating. These 4 were so evenly matched they were in a 4-way deadlock, nobody could make a move. But then, Yuta Okatsu enters the chat and immediately kills Dhruv. Yuta currently has 35 points. Just 3 months after the night parade, Yuta regained his special grade status. If there's anyone more powerful than Yuta, it's only Gojo Satoru. And with that, the episode ends. We've seen Yuji and Megumi's fights, but next up is Yuta's fight, and it's going to be the most insane showdown of the season. To make sure you don't miss it, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. If you liked the video, smash that like button, share it, and comment down below to tell us what you thought of this episode. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.